Apparently there's been an attack on hobbies in like the hobby world. And I'm telling you guys, like right now, like I'm almost shaking. It is slightly cold in here, but I'm shaking in my boots. I was on YouTube looking up hobbies and burnout because I experienced burnout, and hobbies helped me so much getting out of burnout. But then I started to see people talking about hobbies and attacking hobbies and talking about consumerism, and it's just a way for capitalists and all of this nonsense. I'm hurt. Here's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna share a story about how hobbies have saved me from being in the darkest of places, and how I think and I am a hobby advocate. I just made that up on the spot too, by the way. I am a hobby advocate. And here's why. When I was in my 20s, right, I took myself so seriously. Like, it's cringeworthy. Like, if somebody had a video of like everything that I did in my 20s and showed me, I would cringe deep down in my gut. I was on a hunt to prove that I was a serious professional. And it's how I grew up. Like, I grew up with my grandmother who raised me, and she was all about education. And if you were not pursuing an education, being an independent person, it was like, there was no other world that exists, basically. And so I was in that headspace for years in my early 20s. I was going to meetings. I was a journalist and I was in tech at the time. So I was doing meetings. I was going to networking events. Contracts here and there, like business stuff. Like, I was doing so much in my 20s. Like, I don't even know how I put out that much like work. I was on panels, but I had got to a point where like it started to mean nothing to me because I was burned out. When I felt that sense of like, I'm done, like my life and what I'm doing is not interesting, I've been going so hard and I just want to do something else, I realized that I wanted to shape my identity in a different way. And, I know some family and friends who say they think they're on burnout, but they don't know. And, they've wondered for years if their lack of satisfaction is because of burnout. And so I did some research like a good journalist would do. And I found this great book. It's by Ali Abdaal, and it's called Feel Good Productivity. And in it, quote-ish, he talks about there being 3 different forms of burnout. So number 1, burnout is taking on too much work, which is what we're probably all familiar with. Number 2, burnout can also be in the form of misguided rest. So when you think you're resting, you're not really. We'll get into that later. And third, which was my demon, was my poison, was misalignment. So even though I was in tech and I was in journalism and I was enjoying myself, I was misaligned in my intention. And so, I wanted to be recognized. I was obsessed with having like awards and being featured in places and things of that nature. Because of that, I started losing interest because the passion was gone. Like there was no passion there anymore. I eventually got to a point where I was like, I just want a new identity. Like, I just want to scrap this identity of Vanessa Michelle being the career woman. And I wanted a new identity. And I don't know why, so don't ask. Don't ask. The 2 things that I came up with first was gaming, being a gamer, and a pet parent. So the most feasible thing that I could do first was being a pet parent. And so I have a rabbit. His name is Lucky, and he is freaking amazing. And of course, I'm going to blow up this video with as many Lucky pictures that I have. So please be patient with me because I'm a proud pet parent. And Lucky has brought me so much joy. He's so fascinating, just like as a rabbit, and how he behaves is like in between like a cat and a dog. Like, he begs for food, he jumps on me, he wants his cuddles, like he needs his time with mommy. And I am so lucky to give him that. Then I started to get into the gaming world. And the gaming world is very interesting. And there's also attack on gamers. I'm an amateur gamer, so I don't know if I can really say like I'm a gamer, but there's an attack in the gaming space where people are saying things like, if you game, you're lazy. And that's startling. Like, I did not see that coming a mile away. And when I told people I was interested in gaming, they would look at me so funny, like, why do you want to waste so much time? Like, you're gonna game and you're just wasting time with gaming. And I'm like, I can't believe people would say that to me, especially now. Like, whereas before I had no experience at all with gaming. And now she's a gaming girl. Like, I even brought my props. You see these? Look how cute. I know people have like a lot of things to say about this brand, but I don't care. These are cute. They light up. They have like cat eyes. I would never wear this kind of stuff in my 20s. Like, I would be like, oh, you're not serious enough. And like, I got my Switch, thanks to my fiance, shout out to him. I got my Switch. I'm currently playing Hogwarts Legacy. I'm stuck in the Forbidden Forest with a very large spider. If you know how to get out, please comment below because I can't get out this forest. Okay, but I started getting into gaming. And of course, our lovely phones, they always hear what we're saying. My algorithm sent this wonderful YouTuber my way. Her name is Cozy K. She is a comfort influencer. And if you know, you know, you know. Cozy K is that girl. She is the hobby queen. Now, when I first started listening to Cozy K, I had a lot of issues with her. I took a lot of issues with her in the most funniest, sick way ever. Here's this girl. We're close in age. Like, we're not exactly the same age, but we're close in age. And I was like, man, like, she's like being all like fanciful and like so, wearing bows and like being all cutesy, and like, she's older. She needs to be taking herself more serious. Like, why isn't she taking herself more serious? And like, that's such a sick mindset. Like, and what it showed me was that I was spending years taking myself so serious that I was like projecting that idea onto her and not understanding like, how can she take herself so serious yet she's doing all these childlike things. But I was still getting more curious about her, and I kept watching her shows, consuming them, having a great time. I started picking up my own hobbies. And that's what I did. I felt like I traded my seriousness for silliness. Like, wow, what a concept, to be silly and to have fun. Like, slowly but surely, I started painting. I'm not a painter, but I like to paint. I like to read fantasy. For all my girls and boys reading Throne of Glass, the series. This book is hurting me. I love magical systems. Like, I am just having the time of my life in this hobby world. And what I discovered is that there's a lot of science behind hobbies and what they do psychologically. And I'm not going to get into all that right now. But what I will say is that the research shows that when you are into your hobbies, you naturally take on this environment of pleasure, of enjoyment, not earned enjoyment, which is what I was doing as a professional, but just for enjoyment's sake. Fathom that. Just having a good time, just to have it. Not earned, not just on the weekends, but enjoyment. Through my hobbies, I have created a better quality of life. And I saw that the research talks about that a lot. Quality of life satisfaction. And when you really break those words down and really, really think about them, it's remarkable. There's so many things that are happening in our world constantly. And the fact that I have, a game or a book or painting to, bring my nervous system down, my anxiety down, and just put me in this ecosystem of pleasure and fun. This is the reason why I just cannot understand how people are saying that hobbies are not worth it. Hobbies are not going to change your life. They're pointless. It's just another way to waste your money. And to that, I'm sorry, I do not agree. Respectfully. I mean, with everything in me, I do not agree with that. My hobbies have taken me out of a dark place. And sometimes it makes me emotional talking about it because I don't know where I was headed. I was so darn serious. Hobbies have opened up my life to relationships, to communities that I never saw myself be a part of. You know, I have these really cool, like, I'll try to show it on the screen. I have these really cool strawberry earrings. You would never catch me wearing that at 27. You would never catch me wearing that because I ought to be serious. I need to wear something that a serious woman would wear. I'm done with that. So done with that lifestyle, that mentality. And it makes me laugh when people bring that kind of topic to me of like, hey, you should be more serious. Like, you're older, you're more mature. Why are you wearing Harry Potter, clothes? Why are you talking about fairies? And I just laugh at them because they have no clue what my story is. And that tends to happen, with a lack of perspective. But I have given mine. And I want you guys to give yours because I'm really interested in just hearing people's perspective on hobbies. And, if they are on the side of, hey, hobbies are meaningless, they're just another way to dump your money. Or for the people who have really seen change in their lives, because it's changed my life significantly. So comment below. Because we're going to chit chat. We're going to find this out. And this is not going to be the end of this conversation either. Like, this is going to be a theme on this channel because hobbies play such a powerful role in our lives. And sometimes we totally miss it. So yeah, comment below. It was nice talking. This is a good conversation. This is a good conversation. I let some things off my chest. It's time to let some things off your chest. So comment below and we'll hang out. See ya.